So, hi YouTube. I am going to do a trailer breakdown for It Chapter 2, the final trailer. If you remember, about 2 months ago, I did a It Chapter 2 teaser trailer. I did a reaction and a breakdown for that. But I am going to be doing that. I am sorry for the beeping. But I am going to be doing that for my It Chapter 2 final trailer. As many of you know, San Diego Comic Con was this weekend. And as always, San Diego Comic Con, there is always a lot of stuff that comes out. So this isn't just going to be one video. I'm going to be doing two videos, specifically doing trailer breakdowns, kind of some history about some things so you can hear it. But I hope you enjoyed watching this. I'm going to play it for you guys so you can see it. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to keep my mouth shut because I'm really excited for this. And I'll even make it big screen so you guys can see it and hide my little face. So here we go with It Chapter 2.
Something happens to you when you leave this town. The farther away, the hazier it all gets. But me, I never left. I remember all of it.
To the losers.
We made an oath.
Swear? If it isn't dead, if it ever comes back, we'll come back to it.
We didn't stop it.
Pennywise.
The clown. We can't let it happen again.
Hello?
Kid!
Hello. Please. For 27 years, I dreamt of you. I craved you. I've missed you.
We need to finish it. For good.
I've seen all of us die. It consumes us from the inside until we don't have a choice anymore.
You lied. And I died. You lied! And I died!
So, as many as you can see, there's a lot going on. I can't even tell you how much is going on. There is so much going on in this. So we are going to be skipping around, but I will say we're going to go back to the very beginning, which I noticed this from the very beginning of the actual trailer. They have a tendency to go back and reuse the kind of the opening scene from the very first chapter 1 trailer. Which is kind of cool that we get to see that again, because it's been a while since we've seen just kind of the beautiful scenery that Derry is, even though there's a lot going on in Derry. But it's really nice and kind of symbolic that because it's been 27 years since the kids have come back, and we see this scenery, and it's just all bright and colorful. As many people were saying at Comic-Con, that this has a different color scheme than the first film. And, well, I mean, even though this is a trailer, we can already see a little bit of a different color scheme, which is good. For me, I noticed immediately right off the bat. And then, I mean, as we keep going into the trailer, we see like, the closer up shots of the kids. Like, this is a scene that takes place after, pretty much after the whole oath thing, and everybody has parted ways. And of course, we've got Bev and we've got Bill. So kind of fair warning, there may be spoilers that I'm going to reveal. I have read the book. I've seen the original It miniseries. I've seen chapter 1. Now we're going into chapter 2. So there is going to be some slight spoilers. If you're familiar with the book and the film, great. If you're not, I'm sorry. So spoiler alert, boo, spoiler alert. But it is nice to see how each character is really a reflected image of their child. And we saw that briefly in the teaser of chapter 2 for It. We actually got to see the kids all standing in front of the window, and you see the older self and looking at the younger self. And it's really good to see that. They actually really did go with casting. But we know he works for the library, so he's going to be really in tune with what's going on. So, but it is kind of interesting as we get into the trailer, like the kids have started disappearing again. And we know this is 27 years after, and that it has a tendency, or Pennywise has a tendency to come out every 27 years to eat. So, as we're going through, we do have some things that kind of start taking place. And I believe, like, spoiler alert, this is the opening kind of scene for the first part of chapter 2. Because there is this kind of scene that sets the whole tone for the film. So I believe this is going to be it. Let's just hope that it's not as scary as they say it is, because then I'm going to be hiding behind my fingers and my hands like I did the first time I saw this film. But as we go through, we get our first real glimpse of Pennywise, like about 30 seconds in. Right there, which that's just terrifying right there. I admit, when I saw this trailer for the first time, I've watched it, I think 10, 20 times now. This terrified me because I saw this on my TV. It streams YouTube, and seeing this on a big screen, it was like, oh, okay, here we go. This is it. This is real. And we do get to see a kind of a more, I guess you could say, demented side of Pennywise, which is nice to see compared to the first chapter 1, where he's very kind of clean cut, very simple. This, you can tell he's been through a lot. He did not recover well from when the kids got him the first time. So it's interesting to kind of see how this changes, and how now you've got the dinner scene, which this was one of the scenes, kind of backing up a little bit. This is one of the scenes they said was revealed at Comic-Con. They have not released the scene out to the public yet. I think that'll probably be next month, as we've only got about 2 months till actual chapter 2 comes out. So with this scene, they did say, a lot of people who were at Comic-Con said that it is slightly different from the original miniseries. But it still stays true to, here's all the losers from the Losers Club meeting up. All the kids are meeting up as adults. They're kind of reminiscing. Memories are starting to come back of the good old days, but then also there's the real reason why they're in town, why they're back in Derry. So to kind of see all of them there, it's like, yes, they got this scene right from not only the miniseries, but also from the book. So I am looking forward to that. They did say that the fortune cookie thing is different, but it's kind of good way. So I don't know. That's just going off a description. So hopefully we can thumbs up, pray that it turns out good. But as we keep going, like, we keep getting these close-up shots, these back shots, these back and forth flashbacks, which is nice because this just shows, like, this part right here I love, because it is showing how the kids are very much the perfect image of their adults, which that's hard to do in cinema, is to find your perfect older self when you're doing acting. But I think they already had these people in mind when they were looking at doing chapter 2. They had already looked at them. They're like, okay, we can do some minor things. But I mean, if you look at Jessica Chastain and younger, like, it's beautiful. Like, the chemistry between the younger and the older version is beautiful. And I think that's something that we're going to be excited to see on the big screen. I have heard that possibly this film is going to be longer than the first one, which I am a little excited. And I'm someone who doesn't get into horror films. I don't do new horror. I don't do major slasher films. I do like the old 1980s and back. Anything new, I kind of avoid. It has been my kind of wake up call, because it is so iconic and that it is being done the right way. But I mean, to kind of see the fear already on these people's faces is beautiful. And this is just terrifying. This right here is terrifying. And that you see how this kind of looks like the 1990 Pennywise. Like, again, they did it in the first film. They did it in It Chapter 1 with the image of in the room with Stanley going in there, Stanley going in there, and oh my God, here's all these clowns. And there's a Pennywise doll. Here we go with swinging Pennywise pendulums in a funhouse, which I love a carnival, but this is terrifying. I do not know what it is this year with people showing bad things, horror scenes, kind of edgier jump scares in a carnival this year. That must be the new thing. Maybe it brought it back. Who knows? But I mean, this here with the wall of mirrors, the kid disappearing, and then of course having Pennywise show up right here. That is just terrifying again. And to show that, like, looking at just up here where the makeup has flaked, like I said, it shows that Pennywise hasn't fully recovered. In the 27 years the kids have been gone, he hasn't recovered at all. He hasn't recovered at all. He's pissed, and now he's starting to terrorize again. And how the little kid right here, where it goes from that to that, like, let me go back. That is just terrifying. If I can get it to do where's screenshot. Okay, yeah, it moves pretty quick. That is terrifying. That is why we have nightmares of Pennywise. That is why we have nightmares. Because you see those eyes, you see that grin, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna die. And that he has smashed the glass. Now, of course, this is a couple jump scenes, so we haven't seen him beat his hands on the wall yet. But to see that, oh, that's giving me goosebumps now. And I have watched the trailer several times. When you have that image pause long enough, it's like, that thing's going to jump out and get me. That thing's going to jump out, and I don't know if I'm going to live tonight. So, props to Bill Skarsgård. Props to you for being able to do that. But I mean, that's terrifying. And the poor kid, we feel like we want to save him. And that supposedly this is the other scene that they showed out of the 3 scenes, this is the second scene they showed from Comic-Con. So I don't know how well that's going to turn out. Like, a lot of commentators have said, they're kind of broken up. They're out of place when you're seeing them. They're kind of disconnected, but when we see them completely in the film, probably is going to be a lot better, a lot stronger, building up to these scare tactics, building up these moments that we're seeing, which I do believe is going to be really fantastic. And we see it with the color palette going on. It's brighter. It's not as dingy as the first one. So it'll be interesting. And sorry, I talk a lot. This is me being my film person self. But just hearing the dialogue from Pennywise is creepy too. I dreamt of you. I craved you. I've missed you. That's creepy. With the balloons as well. Just no. But I like these mirror images. That there, seeing that face is beautiful. And just this scene has been used not only in the teaser, this has been used in promotional filming, this has been used for this trailer. So this is a very key scene because we already know that several of the losers are just completely terrified of Pennywise. I mean, they're still terrified. They don't want to be back in Derry. And yet here we go, and we're broad daylight. Broad daylight. He's out, and it's like, oh, this has been kicked up a notch. We're not ready for this. We're not ready for this. And how right here, this scene in the bathroom, this is terrifying with the flooded water and everything. And then having little, why did you bring him back? Why? We knew he was coming back, but why? Him yelling that whole time during this scene right here, especially here when Bill is having to relive his brother's death and has never let go of it. That is terrifying, and that haunts you. And so just plus having older Bill in the foreground and having younger Bill in the back, it is really complimenting to see this going on. You lied and I died. This is just kicked up a notch. Which I still have not figured out this whole scene yet. I really don't remember this in the book. This was never mentioned in the miniseries. I don't remember this scene. So if anybody remembers it, please enlighten me. But seeing her just kind of drowning, that's creepy. We know, of course, it's Pennywise. He's trying to get back at all of them. But then you have where we see he's going mad. We don't need to see him go crazy. We already know shit's going down. So, like Jessica Chastain says, her line, it tears you from the inside out. This has been going on for decades. And now he's pissed and he's like, okay, I'm coming back for the vengeance for you guys. You thought you got rid of me. I didn't. You didn't. I'm coming after you. But this scene right here, I have to talk about. Out of everything in this trailer, this by far is my favorite. I will admit the first time I saw it was in the teaser, and you just see him ripping his face apart. And I did not realize that. At first, I thought it was Bill, because there is a part in the book and in the miniseries where Bill sees himself in the Pennywise makeup and costume, and he is going crazy. But seeing this scene finally and realizing that this is not Bill. This is Bill Skarsgård, who is playing Pennywise, who is actually John Gray in the actual quote-unquote, this is the origin story of how Pennywise came to be. And we're seeing the scratches. We've seen the faded makeup. And, I mean, if you look at the backdrop behind him, you've got the oil lamp. You've got what looks like a banjo. You've got a mask here. You've got some, like, clown kind of attire. And in the teaser, we got that with the little scene that's going on at the beginning that terrified everybody with the running naked lady. That, oh yeah, my dad was in the circus. He ran off and joined the circus. And it's him. And to see this now, they had promised us a while back after the release of Chapter 1 that we were going to get a taste of how Pennywise came to be. This is it. I am ready for this. Nobody has explored it. This actually does deviate a little bit from the book, but it does kind of help those who don't want to sit down and read Stephen King's epic 1,000+ page novel. We can watch the film and get a little taste of it without kind of spoiling it. But I'm trying to figure out how they're going to play this in to the entire film. Like, is this just going to be like interjected in randomly, or is this going to be when Bev is talking to quote unquote Pennywise's daughter? Is that when that scene's going to take place? Is it going to be a flashback, or is this going to be maybe towards the end of the film when Pennywise kind of comes out and starts telling them this stuff? I mean, I don't know. This is going to be an interesting scene to see where it fits in. And I am wondering if this is part of the scene that a lot of the San Diego Comic-Con viewers got to see, because they did mention that it was a scene in the Neibolt house. Well, this is the Neibolt house. So I'm wondering if this is the scene they were talking about. They didn't really say anything. They did tell us about the other two in description, really in depth. This one, they just said it takes place at Neibolt house. It doesn't, we can't tell you anything else. I'm like, tell, please. It's probably this scene. But I mean, to see this is incredible. I mean, incredible. And I mean, just to have that. The only reason I knew finally that this was Bill Skarsgård, Pennywise, is something that he said in an interview back when he did the behind the scenes for the first film. When you look at his left eye, he can do that on command. And that's something that he has brought to the character. And to see it here with the faded makeup and the blood, yes, this is Pennywise at his start. And it's terrifying. It is terrifying. And then the yelling. It's beautiful. I will admit, this trailer really did set everybody at Comic-Con like raring to go, like, we are ready for It Chapter 2. And that there are rumors now that there's going to be a quote-unquote It Chapter 3, which I really don't know how they're going to pull that one off. But, I mean, if they want to try and make it a trilogy, go for it. I mean, the book was technically in 3 parts, so why not? But I hope you guys enjoyed my trailer breakdown. I will be doing my second trailer breakdown for a film that I'm not going to really talk about, but I am excited. I get to bring in some things that I haven't talked about in a while. But if you like this and have comments, feedback, or anything, or just want to talk about how excited you are for It Chapter 2, leave those down in the comments. And let's keep going with getting ready for It Chapter 2.